New here, my name's Dr. Adam Sawyers. I'm an average powerlifter and a very above average online coach. This is my training. I'm rehabbing from a bilateral quadriceps tendon rupture. So that means both sides, my quads exploded essentially when I was squatting. And so this is my training. Now, the title, or maybe just a thumbnail or something, will say day 2, 600 day 2, because that is the next goal. So I'm working towards now. The previous plan had been 700 total, but with exploded knees, it does make it a little bit difficult to get up to those kinds of numbers. So what my new goal is a 600 total instead, because I reckon, that sounded breaky, I reckon it's not unreasonable for me to get there. So a couple of goals we've got is a 180 kilo bench. I don't think is completely unreasonable. So I'm 100 kilos body weight. I'll be getting down to about 90. 180 kilo bench, 300 kilo deadlift. That then means to get 600, I only actually need 120 kilo squat. So that's not too bad. Yesterday I squatted a massive 20 kilos. So that's the starting point. I've been rehabbing now, so I'm 9 months post-op. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you. You guys are the best. So, what the plan is for today, so the split at the minute, what we've got is a Monday, day 1 is basically squats and bench. Now, my actual squat session is very lackluster, so if you watch it from yesterday, there's not a lot. Then Tuesday is essentially deadlifting and back. I'm strong enough with bench that I don't really need a super high frequency of it yet. So I'm strong enough, but also getting back into training after a couple of weeks off. I'm not sure if this will be cutting my head off. I'm just going to have a look. And what I'll need to do is basically just retrain the movement and then go from there. Deadlift, similarly, I've obviously lost some strength, but training it for the most part seems okay. And then squats, obviously way behind. And then I'm doing quad rehab every day, so every session. But the plan for today is some deficit deadlifts. So with the training, especially this first week, it's not going to be heavy at all. So the plan had been, I competed on the 21st of December and I squatted 67.5, bench 162.5, deadlifted 222.5. They were all quite easy. And since then, I've only done the odd sporadic session. Part of that was intentional, so that then I could just let everything heal. And because I've been doing rehab extensively, I just wanted a break, not just physically, but also mentally. And then we went away, so I went abroad. We just didn't have access to a gym there, didn't make an effort to find one. I was good with that, had a nice time, well worth it. Then last week, the plan was to restart doing these. I trained on Monday, and then I got whatever the bug is that's going around at the minute. So what I need to do is, it proper wipes me out, I need to look at my immune protocol and sort that out, because it used to be such that I just didn't really get ill. So I need to look at what I was doing and adapt my nutrition and supplements to stop it from happening again. So that's the plan. Now, for today, what I'm thinking, this is going to be super underwhelming. Maybe 120 for a top set, and then I'll back off. So obviously need to warm up. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing the first rep double overhand, and then switching to a hook grip. That might actually be, that could be heavy enough. Or maybe no, I'll go 120. So 120 will be my starting load on this. And what I'm doing with my training is we're starting very conservative, but the goal each week is to do a bit more. So it's going to start off dead simple, dead straightforwards, and then a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And eventually it'll get difficult, and eventually I won't be able to keep progressing linearly. So at that point, if I need it, I'll take a deload, either a couple of sessions or a full week. Then I'll look at whether I need to actually program. Not that this isn't intelligent programming, but program less like a beginner, I guess. So I'll go from there. So for deadlift, I'm going to do 2 movements. So one will be a normal deadlift, and what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use a deadlift bar for that. I enjoy it, it's fun. And then I'm doing the stiff bar deficit deadlifts for this session. So with that said, I'm going to crack on. The bars, there's quite a lot of humidity in here, quite a lot of condensation I should say. So the bar's quite slippery. Stick a bit of chalk on. What I did yesterday, so if you did watch yesterday's video, then you'll know that I did half a session at home and then went to the gym. I did incline dumbbell press, some curls, and then some of my quad rehab. The main rehab movement that I'm using is leg extensions, and single leg extensions are a big one, and then single leg stuff. Bilaterally they work okay, just not very strong yet, but unilaterally there's a lot of motor control issues. Alright then. So in terms of my back, hamstrings, glutes, I can feel it, but it doesn't feel tough. In terms of my hands, I'm doing a hook grip. It feels terrible because I'm just not used to it at all. Hands desensitize real quick to not hook gripping, I find. Maybe like 1 to 2 weeks of no exposure and they're gone. So, top set, 120 kilos. Lowest RPE I can put is 5, so that's what it is. And then we'll go 100 kilos for a single back off set. The 100 is maybe not needed in terms of progress, but I like to progress the volume as well. So that's something I didn't say with the progressions. You will find with most lifters, you have a volume tolerance of where there's a sweet spot of making a lot of progress versus going backwards. So like minimum effective volume, maximum recoverable volume, all that sort of stuff. I know for me, it's usually I can handle 1 big set, 2 back off sets for quite some time, and I'll make good progress off that. But if I jump straight to that, for some reason, I seem to lose a couple of weeks worth of progression. Whereas if I start off with 1 set and a back off set, I then can jump up from there. And when I start going up to top set 3 back off sets, strength tends to go backwards. So I would only really do that if it was like hypertrophy phase. If it's just a strength block, I usually wouldn't go up all the way to that. What I might do is, say like a top set of, let's say it was 200 kilos as a top set, so maybe 200 kilos for 1. I then would take like a 10% drop. So I might go down to 180 for 3, and then another 10% drop, and do 160 for 3 by 3. I could do that, but if I was trying to keep it at 90%, I could maybe do that 180 for 2 sets of 3. Otherwise, I'd just be ruined. If I only dropped 5%, I probably couldn't do 3 reps with 95% of even an RPE8 single. Maybe now, but when I was just doing the powerlifting stuff, it did not feel like that. So yeah, the plan now is at 600 total as a long-term goal. Short-term goal right now is a bit of a recomp. I'm not doing a harsh deficit. I'm using macro factor. I've used it for years. I literally just set it to 0.4 kilos of weight loss a week. Stick to the macros it gives me. I'm doing cardio on average, I would say 5 times a week. Some weeks I do it every day. Some weeks I might only get in 3 or 4. And then the duration is between 20 minutes is the minimum, an hour is the maximum. The reason so much variability is 4 of the sessions a week I will do on a desk bike, which means that I'll be working at the same time. So that's like low intensity. And then once or twice a week, I'll do slightly higher intensity sessions. So like tomorrow, for example, I'm not going to film it, but I'll go to the gym and I'll use the rower and the ski erg. So it'll be steady state. It'll be whole body steady state, because what I'll do is alternate between the two. So I might do like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, or something like that, with minimal rest between them. Part of it is just boredom, just like changing what I'm doing, and the part of it is because then you're getting the adaptations everywhere. Anyway, that's one set of jibber jabbering to RP9. Let's do another. I shall do another set of deadlifts. The other thing with the back off is it's another chance to do a couple reps hook grip, toughen up the thumbs. So that was alright. Again, on the hands, feels horrible, but on the legs it's fine. I can feel my quads working, but my back and hips are all okay. I put a question box on Instagram, but I left it a bit too late. I only put it on like 58 minutes before I came through. So I have questions to answer as I train. So there's not any on it. So one of the main ones, well, one of the 2. There was literally a total of 2. So one was, how are your legs? I basically answered that. I get that every time, and it's almost always someone different. Like, I'm really appreciative of the concern. But yeah, I've already talked about that. So then the other one was, why do you like close grip incline so much? It's because it's the best. So, next up, I will give you a better answer in a sec. Next up is going to be some barbell rows. So I'm going to start with 60 kilos. Going to do them with a bit of flexion at the bottom, a bit of extension at the top. I think this deficit might not be enough actually. That should work. That's not quite long enough. I guess this will have to do, because I'm not going to stand on the 20 kilo plates. They're so awkward to pick up when they're laid flat. I'll just give this a go. Might just mean going a bit heavier down the line on them. So I like these with a bench grip. That feels odd. Normally I like these with a bench grip. Let's try a closer grip. That's better. I'm looking. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out. I think it looks quite cool. So this is a realistic representation of what a first week of training should look like coming back after injury and back into proper training. Obviously there's been other stuff, but after having a decent amount of time off, this is kind of what it should be looking like. So what you'll hopefully notice is I'm like a little bit out of breath, but not like dying. I can talk. As I get close to competition, as I get heavier with the training, I'll either have to rest longer or not be able to talk so much as I go through it. Right then, let's do this one. So that closer grip actually felt better, so I was just making a note of that for next week so I can compare like for like. I'll tell you what, I know I just said about it being awkward to get the plates on, but I think I would like to do them on a bigger deficit. What I'll do is leave a lip of it there, so it's okay to pick up. Oh, that was good. Felt that the most, sort of where your lats attach down here, well, originate down here. Real strong contraction there, even though it's easy, it's just not used to the movement. That's lovely. So the close grip incline, right? When you're benching, 3 prime movers, pecs, shoulders, triceps. Don't think anyone could argue that. When you do a close grip incline, you're heavily stimulating your triceps and your shoulders. Your pecs on a close grip incline actually go through a really big range of motion from that incline there. As you come down there is no way for this not to stretch and press. Now, I'm not saying that it's the best movement for your pecs if you're after pec development. What I am saying is it's a fantastic accessory for a normal bench. Where it makes up for, where it's better than close grip flat bench, in my opinion, is with a close grip flat bench, you have a similar range of motion to a normal bench, but your load is limited. So it's worse in terms of how much you can load on it, slightly better because of the range of motion, and you can bias your triceps a bit more. With a close grip incline, it's a bigger range of motion and the load is limited. But the load is not limited a crazy amount. The range of motion is increased a crazy amount. So I've seen with my athletes over the years, and personally, the close grip incline is probably the second movement that I can attribute bench gains to compared to anything else. So first would be front raises. If you follow me anywhere, or I've heard any of my bench videos, you know how strongly I feel about front raises. So yeah, they're really good as well. Right, next up, it's going to be a underhand pull down. The reason I can just remember it off the top of my head is because I've literally just uploaded it to my app. Because, as is the nature with most things, I've made sure my clients are all sorted, and then I haven't updated my program. So I've literally just done it just before I've come in here. I'll bring you inside. Hopefully this is a warmer for you now. So at the minute, my overhead range is a bit limited, and my rotation in my arms and at my elbows are real tight. So a solution for that is stretching, or a better solution for that, in my opinion, is doing a movement where I can train that motion, so I actually get to kill two stones with one bird. So I'm going to go both underhand, like this. So double underhand grip. There's a big range of motion for some pull downs. Yeah. Only slight downside with this is I don't have quite a full range of motion on it yet. I'm just going to close the garage because it is chilly. I don't have quite a full range of motion on it yet, so I'm going to use straps so I can still hold on to the bar. Oh, the door has missed you by that much. I actually got these new grips for Christmas, so thanks, Mum. One of my 3 subscribers. So I'm going to give these a go for this. I'm only going to use that for my first set, and then the plan shall be to go to the gym, and at the gym I'm going to do hamstring curls and quad rehab, which is going to be leg extension isos today, I believe, and that's it in terms of the quad rehab for today, because I did quite a bit yesterday. So last night at the gym, it smelled. There was, I think I must have got there when school finished or something, so many like 15 to 18 year olds, and it's great to see them in the gym, but they're at the age of where they don't all wear deodorant, but yet they must have started puberty or be partway through puberty, and so they do smell. So it was like a battle of deciding where to go and be breathing heavy and getting all the smells, or just put up with it. So my intent today had been to go earlier, so I would avoid that, or even later, but ended up spending the day at hospital instead. So obviously that's not happening, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, I mean you can see that it's dark through there. Anyway, so that'll be what I'm going into tonight as well, which will be interesting. Right, goal here is 8 good reps. Let's see how well these straps work. Not used them yet. That was good actually. I liked that. It feels secure, but it's not pulling on my wrists too much. I don't know how they'll be for deadlifting. I probably won't use them for deadlifts. Oh, it does feel solid. I'm not high or drunk. Yeah, that was alright. So the current focus of what I'm working on is I'm restructuring some business stuff, which I think I did talk about yesterday. So I won't go on about it again more today. I found like since this accident has happened, I think I maybe already wasn't aware of it. Maybe that's uncomfortable. Maybe I'm just wrong, but it's made me a lot more introspective about a lot of things, and often think a little bit more before I say the thing, and also a lot less of jumping to conclusions about different things people are doing. So like, for example, I'll like add the disclaimer of, yes, I know I'm not super lean, I'm not massive, whatever, I'm broader than the average person in the average gym. So you probably wouldn't expect me to be struggling to do single leg extensions with like 5-10 kilos. But obviously there's a reason, but you don't know what somebody's reason is for that thing. So if you see somebody doing something in the gym, you don't know the rationale. There might be a reason, there might not be, they might just be hurting themselves. But definitely become a lot more, a lot less assuming, I think is probably the right word. But then it does mean that I don't have as much different stuff to say on here yet. So I think I potentially also said this yesterday, sometimes I just want to stick my headphones in and train. What I might do is, on those days, still put the mic on, and then literally I will just name the video no talking or something like that. You know when you get like a very specific, sharp contraction? I get that doing that, which is nice. So some of the videos I will just name them not talking or something like that for whoever's interested in them. Because with the YouTube stuff, I'm looking at it now 3 ways. So one is the training log. I wish I'd kept doing videos during the whole rehab. Sometimes I wish, not sometimes, like it would have been cool if I kept doing a video every day just for me to see the process. But there was a lot of days where nothing changed, nothing was happening, or that's what it felt like. And so I didn't bother. And I wish I had kept it up. So I'd been able to see the changes. There's a lot of times now when I look back and I'm like, when could I do that? When couldn't I have done that? Could I have done that different? I don't know. Second, and then the same like for future me. So like I'm super grateful that I kept a video of the last year and a bit of training vlogs and videos and stuff, because I've got that to look at and be like, I did those things, I have a video of them, I have proof of them. So if I never can squat a lot again, I've got proof. For me, I can look back at that. I didn't think it would be so soon that I would be in a position of looking back on them, but I'm glad I did it. So that's one reason. The next reason is to try and help more people. So despite the fact there's not many people that are subscribed, so I think there's about 1,400-ish of you guys subscribed, and I appreciate that. If you're not, then click. If you're not and you've watched this far through, you should click the subscribe button. But that means it must be useful. So either it's entertaining or informative or something. There's some reason why people like watching that, and that's cool. So it helps other people. Fantastic. And then the final one is business purposes. So with my business, I've split things up into 3 tiers now. So one is working with me directly, one-to-one coaching. The next one down is cohort based. So it will be a case of, there'll be a launch, you can work with me for like somewhere between one-to-one and the cheaper option. You get like a taster of each. And the idea is at the end of that period, you pick one or the other, but I can only do that at set times because it'll be more work for less pay, basically. And then the third option is the app and team coaching option. So that one, there is in theory an almost infinite number of subscribers. So the more people that I can get into that from this, the better. What that's ideal for is people that They need good programming, they need technique reviews, they need someone they can ask questions and have a single source of information. I don't think I know everything at all, but what you tend to find is when you're getting information from 15 different places, when it's not your full-time thing, it's hard to delineate between the noise from the signal. There's so much stuff going on, it's hard to know what you should follow, and you'll have different like schools of thought on different things. So I think it's good to, when you're picking your trainer or whatever, just pick one type of training and stick with that for a while. So this way it means people can have that of like, that's the source, I'm going to follow these programs, ask this person the questions, get my technique reviewed by this person, so you're in my systems. So that way it means that people can get that help for very, very cheap. So it's £29 a month, which is like, it's less than £1 a day. Super, super, super cheap. That's the minimum that that I could have it, and the developers be okay with it, essentially. So yeah, the goal with that is as many people as possible. Say there was 1,000 people on there, I could more or less spend all my time just looking after that, and obviously that would mean that I financially could do that full time and not need to do anything else. So that's the third goal of this channel long term, is to also get people signed up onto that as well. Anyway, with that said, I believe that's it for everything I need to do in here today. I just need to put these weights away, and then it's off to the gym. So I'm not going to keep the video on whilst I'm doing this, because I've already been talking nonsense for a while. Hopefully the microphone has worked today, because I know it didn't yesterday. If you have questions you want answering, send me them on Instagram at Dr. Adam Sawyers, all one word, same as my YouTube name. And then I will talk about them during my videos. Take care. I will see you tomorrow.